How to Transform Your Life. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, indeed, how do we go about transforming our life? Sometimes people say, well, I'm going to get a makeover. I'm going to do all kinds of different things. I'm going to get into shape. I'm going to move. I'm going to change my job. And it's all about physical world stuff that people attempt to do to transform their life. But if you've been on this channel, you see what I teach, you will know that transformation happens from one place and one place only, and that is in our energy. Because our life is about our beliefs that are stored in our subconscious mind. We know we picked those up as children, and they shape the way that we think, and that's the energy that's broadcasting by default to the law of attraction, and so that's what our physical world is all about. Most people probably on the planet still don't know that in a way, in that kind of funny way, we're kind of like a puppet on a string, because our subconscious, if you don't know your subconscious is broadcasting to the law of attraction, then you don't understand the manifestations that are going on in your life, and you don't think that they're a part of you. You think that, you're just in the world, and the world is the way the world is, and that's not true at all. The world is the way you are. So the way that your beliefs are is the way that the world comes to you. So we get many faulty beliefs growing up. So we get the train wreck version of beliefs. Really, without the creative process and the knowledge of life, you could call those the train wreck beliefs, because they get us into all kinds of thinking patterns that are low vibration and are attracting to us all kinds of things that interfere with our relationships and our health and our flow of abundance, everything really. So that's what we're doing when we're transforming our life, is we're going to transform our beliefs. That's our energy, and bring them back into their natural alignment. So the effect of faulty beliefs is, I talk about in my first book, I talk about the reality bubble. So it's faulty beliefs, of course, create very limited thinking, and in that way, we, of course, can only receive so much of what we want. That's in accordance with the beliefs. We'll never receive anything greater than what those beliefs are. So we're kind of living in a bubble without even knowing it. And again, it's kind of like that puppet on a string scenario, where we got these beliefs going on, transmitting to the law of attraction, and totally controlling our life, totally determining what it is our life is all about. And even though we want all kinds of things, all the same, regardless of those beliefs, our ability to dream is still there. Although as life goes on, if we don't change these beliefs, sometimes people start giving up on their dreams, thinking, well, I just can't have that, and so I'll do the best I can, and I'll settle for what I can get, and that's all I can get, kind of thing. So we want to get rid of that. We want to free ourselves. We want to leave that cage. We want to get out of that bubble. We want to open our mind and let the free flow of life come to us in all the ways that we want to. As they say, the sky is the limit, and we know there is no limit to the sky. It's endless, it's infinite, and that's what we are, infinite beings, and we can do anything we want to, as long as we get the understanding of how to focus our powerful conscious mind, because that's the thing that will transform the beliefs in our subconscious mind. But part of part of growing up, we don't really even learn the power of our conscious mind, how powerful that part of us is when we're focusing it, for sure. And so we tend to focus it unknowingly in accordance with the faulty beliefs, which is low vibration energy. And so we're really attracting a lot of stuff to ourselves that we do not like. So if your conscious mind is lazy and unfocused, which it tends to be because the way we grow up, we don't learn about it, then our subconscious beliefs are running the show. Again, that reality bubble, that's those subconscious beliefs. That puppet on the string effect, that's those subconscious beliefs. But if you get the conscious mind focused, now it's a whole different story, because it will run the show. We learn through what you're seeing in these videos that we do have the choice to take charge of our conscious mind. Now, it doesn't change instantly. As you're getting to know, you develop new thought patterns and habits, and you continually choose those in the face of a physical reality, a current physical reality that you don't like. You start to choose a new thought pattern about it, and that starts to displace that old faulty belief from the subconscious mind and replace it with this new thought pattern, which is a thought pattern that's in alignment, more about how we can appreciate life and find the positive aspects and how it's serving us and what's on the way to us, because we understand contrast and expanse. And see, the creative process gives us a whole new library of thought options that we can begin to choose intentionally and in a focused way, and then we can get that subconscious mind all cleaned up. And when we're doing that, that's how we're transforming our life, so that our signal to the law of attraction starts to change, and then the manifestations start to change, instead of the repeat of the same old life over and over again that we don't like, because we're in those old thought patterns and the default broadcast from those faulty beliefs of our subconscious mind. That's the way our life continues to manifest, even though we do want it to be different. And then that's where a lot of people start to think, well, how can I get it to be different? And then there's an action involved. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work longer. I'm going to do something different in a physical sense. And then this idea of energy comes along, and then people think, well, I'm going to manifest something. You see how that's all evolved? I want to change it. I have these dreams. I'm not giving up. I'm going to find a way to do this. There's got to be a way to do this. And that's all the hard way. That doesn't work. The easy way, of course, is to get those beliefs transformed into beliefs that are in alignment. And as we do that, then the broadcast changes. And then vibrational reality, we learn that life is more than just physical. We have a physical manifested world, but we also have a vibrational unmanifest world, which, when we're a match to the vibration of those things that we want, then they will move into our physical reality. So you can see how our life changes with the transformation of those beliefs in our subconscious mind. So let's follow this a little more. So again, it's like the projector. Our subconscious mind is like that projector, and the way our life is physically now in the physical world, it's like a movie from that projection of beliefs from our subconscious mind. So how do we change that? How do we change the subconscious mind, transform our subconscious mind? Well, if we are energy beings, high vibration energy beings, and we want to get our conscious and subconscious mind back into alignment to be high vibration instead of the low vibration of those faulty beliefs, which also influence our conscious mind to that, and we don't really do a lot about it if we don't understand how this works. So we want to start and get our conscious mind thinking in terms of this creative process, so that when something is going on in our life and we don't like it, we start to talk about it really completely differently. We celebrate contrast. We see things as contrast, not as troubles, not as trauma or crisis or something gone wrong or bad. We just stop using that kind of terminology, and we just start to say it's contrast. It's my life just got better. It's my life expanded. It's I just got clear about what I want. I'm so thankful for this situation, even though the details are not all that pleasant. In a bigger, broader perspective, my life just got better, and this thing really is serving me. And hey, the reason that thing is here like it is anyway is because of my faulty belief energy. It drew it to me that way. I'm now understanding that's what's really happening. So I accept it for that. On that basis, I accept it. I'm not accepting the things that are going on a detailed basis. I'm just accepting their vibrational manifestations from my faulty beliefs. And therefore, in that understanding, I'm okay because I know what really is going on here is my life expanded to a better version. And so I'm going to appreciate that. See, it's a whole different mindset. So now we're transforming our conscious thinking in accordance with this creative process. And as we do that day after day, time after time, as things show up, we're replacing all of our reactions to things with responses, which is that deconstruction, reconstruction process. So we catch ourselves with a negative emotion, which means our thought is out of alignment. We're thinking in accordance with that old faulty belief. We change that thought, and we change it to be in alignment with the creative process. So now we're moving everything to a positive response. So we're in the 7 stages of manifestation change. We're in that stage 3, catching all those out of alignment thoughts, and we're deconstructing and reconstructing to get to stage 4, which is that place where we are fully understanding that everything is a manifestation of our energy. And when we don't like it, it's contrast. Our life's got better, it's expanded, and we now want to focus on the joy of receiving that, the joy of the path, the celebration and gratitude for the awareness of our vibration and for the clarity that we got from the contrast. You see, it's an entirely different mindset. We've transformed our conscious thinking mind when we start to do this deconstruction and reconstruction, because now we're thinking from the perspective of the creative process. We're not thinking from the perspective of those faulty beliefs anymore. Everything is now a celebration. So we're moving out of the train wreck, faulty belief mentality into the natural creative process mentality. So as we do that first in our conscious mind, we're doing that in our conscious mind. You see, we're starting to replace that train wreck set of beliefs in our subconscious mind. So we're transforming our subconscious mind, and then that broadcast is going to change, and then our physical world is going to start to manifest in accordance with our vibrational reality, not with a repeat by looking at something we don't like and repeating that energy. You see, that's how the transformation is going to happen for you. Now, another way that you can do that, and it amounts to the same thing, and this kind of happened to me growing up, because I was, in my earliest years, I spent a lot of time around my mother, and my mother was quite insecure, and I picked that up, and I was a very nervous child because of the influence that she had on me. So she kind of programmed me in that way. She didn't mean to. That's just the way she grew up, and whatever she's seen, what created her subconscious to be the way that it was, but she was just doing the best she could. But that's what happened. But then when I got up, maybe 8, 9, that kind of years, then I started spending more time with my father, and he was very secure. He was a dreamer. He really had a very, very different personality from that perspective. And with all the time I spent with him, and I'm looking at him and I'm seeing the way he's doing things, and that started rubbing off on me. I started to get that. So he didn't know he was doing it, but he literally reprogrammed my subconscious mind, because I was watching him and sort of mimicking and taking note, not really consciously, but just an aware thing. And I could see the way that he was behaving and his confidence and all the rest of it. And I really picked that up. And so that really transformed my subconscious mind in that way, and caused me to think very differently. So there is a play, I believe, called My Fair Lady, and it's along that same lines too, where some people take in a lady from the streets and they subject her to a very different lifestyle, very, very different, and they're very supportive of her, a lot of that going on, and teaching her different things, and she completely is transformed because she sees that. So that's something that you can do if you know somebody who is living, let's call it a high vibration life. Watch them closely, watch what they do, and start doing some of that stuff, because if you think like they think, you're going to live like they live. Now, I don't mean right down to a T. You're still going to have your unique gifts and talents and everything, but just in a general attitudinal kind of way. You see that they don't react, they're responding, they're calm, they're confident, they're responsive, they're not reacting, they're not critical, just really a lot of very positive traits. So if you see that and you got somebody close to you and you can really hang around with them a lot, you can make a big change with your subconscious beliefs. The other thing you can do, which some people have done actually in this YouTube channel, is just blindly choose to feel good. Just say, well, I don't know, really, the creative process sounds good and everything, but rather than trying to understand it all or any of that kind of thing, I'm just going to decide I'm just going to start feeling good. I'm just going to stop reacting. I'm just going to start to appreciate myself and others and look at the positive side of life and just have that good positive attitude. I'm just going to do that. You see, that's a choice. Now what are you doing? You have shifted, you transformed your conscious thoughts, and you're going to be repetitive with it. And as you are, you displace those beliefs in your subconscious mind, and now those are transformed. You transformed your beliefs. And now your life is going to transform because you're broadcasting differently. You've transformed your subconscious beliefs. Now you're broadcasting different to the law of attraction, and what's manifesting in your world is going to change. So that's you transforming your life. So that's 3 ways that you can transform your life. And it happens by the transformation of your subconscious mind, which happens through the transformation of your present moment, conscious mind, thought choices. So just to really hit home with this, we get to a point where our subconscious is that train wreck subconscious, those faulty beliefs, and then it's a fading effect, right? So we're changing the habits and patterns of our conscious thinking mind, and as we do that, then we're starting to purify our subconscious. We're bringing it back into alignment, and then we finally get it back into alignment where it's all high vibration beliefs, and then our life flows in the natural way it's meant to flow in the joyous cycle of expansion, as I talk about in many videos. And this is why manifestation techniques don't work, what people call manifestation techniques. And if you really think about it, what they're saying is they're thinking techniques. They're techniques that they do or say something that causes the belief that, something's going to happen differently. And sometimes they work because if a person does believe it in such a thing outside of themselves, belief is a high vibration, there's no resistance. So the thing can happen. But what happens, and I see it even in the comments here on the channel, people say, well, I was good at manifesting for a while, but now something's happened and it's not quite going as I wanted it to go. And what happens is that people do these techniques and they just override sort of the subconscious in a very temporary way, but you can't keep it up for the long term. We didn't come here to live techniques, so they're only ever going to be have a shelf life to them. And then what's going to happen is your subconscious is going to default take over again, whatever it was, that low vibration train wreck, subconscious beliefs. And that's why people's lives go back to be what they were, and they wonder what happened. Well, how come I was this master manifester for a while and now I'm not that anymore? And the reason is just as I said. So we don't want to do thinking techniques for manifestation or any of that kind of stuff. We want to do thinking techniques to change the way that we think, not to get things to manifest, but to change the way that we think so it's in alignment. And as we do that, then we will purify our conscious thinking mind, which will then, in turn, gradually purify our subconscious beliefs. And then our energy is back in its natural high vibration place, and the manifestations that we want will naturally flow into our life as a byproduct of that. It's just a natural thing that happens once our energy is flowing in that high vibration state. So that's what we really want to be doing here, and this is how we transform our life. So that is today's video on how to transform your life, and we all can do it. We all have the power to do it. And now that you have this beautiful knowledge of life, the creative process, which you can learn a lot about in these videos, or you can go to my book, The Book of Life, to learn about this broader perspective how it all works in my book, Higher Vibrations for Health, Happiness, and Harmony, which is set up to help you to relearn to focus your mind in positive feeling ways. That's working on your conscious mind, which will then displace those beliefs in your subconscious mind. So the way that, I gave you 3 ways that you can do this, and you could equally do it with either one. This one here, this first way with purifying your conscious mind thoughts with in alignment thoughts based on the creative process, is certainly the most thorough and complete way to do it, because then if anything happens in your life, then you know what's gone on. This is completely an internal reprogramming. And if you get it from somebody else, if you're watching somebody else and you do it that way, you still don't really have the knowledge of life. And so you've got that sort of reprogramming from outside of yourself. And the same thing if you just blindly choose to feel good, you've just kind of relied on that. And even though these 2 things work, when push comes to shove, if something goes on in your life and you don't understand the creative process, then it's a little more tricky to get back on. But if you got this internalized, this creative process, there's nothing that can knock you off ever. You always know what happened and you'll know how to get back on. So that, of course, is my recommended way to do it. But just for the record, you can do it in these other ways as well. So again, that is the video for today. If you want to transform your life, this is the way you do it. And of course, this all fits in with the 7 stages of manifestation change, which helps you to track that transformation, which is really nice because you can see real time how you're doing, and that transformation of your conscious mind and subconscious mind is happening day by day, and you can definitely look forward to a transformed physical life in a very permanent way because you're permanently changing the energy. Okay, thanks for listening in. If you have any questions, leave them on the post and enjoy your day.